Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Tepper, investing and retirement analyst with Forbes Advisor, a trusted destination for unbiased personal finance advice, news, and reviews to discuss why America is in a retirement crisis and how to fix it. Taylor, it's great to see you again, getting the band back together. Welcome back.
Oh, this is always fun. This is always fun. I look forward to this all week.
Let's talk about America. We are one of the richest countries in the world, and for decades, there's been a festering retirement crisis. What are we doing wrong?
Right. It's not good. We're basically not saving enough money. That's the cut and thrust of it. To put this in perspective, whenever anyone says retirement crisis, the listener or the viewer should think about half. That means like half of Americans don't have enough money in their savings right now to sustain their retirement income once they get into retirement, or they're not on path to doing that. So it's not good for half of Americans. There's two issues with it. Number one, for a lot of people will say like Social Security doesn't give enough money to people, and that has caused a big problem. Number two is that a lot of people don't save enough money while they're working. They don't save enough money in retirement accounts. They are dealing with other issues that come about. They're strained financially. They don't know these accounts exist, whatever it is. So basically, we are not providing a big enough safety net once people retire, or people aren't saving enough, or some combination.
You spoke with a number of retirement experts to see how they would improve retirement security. Let's talk about a few of them, starting with strengthening Social Security.
Right. Yeah. I let 10 people play retirement god was sort of the impetus of the story. And so, yeah, a fair amount of people talked about strengthening Social Security, either increasing the amount that people get, each month and to help them, pay their bills and replace more of their income before they retired. Other people talked about just sort of strengthening the social network in general, and not necessarily what it means, how much money to get, but make sure it's on a more solid footing in the years to come. So those were sort of the big things about Social Security, just more money into the system to help people, when they stop working.
Social Security only goes so far, though, and as you had mentioned, and it's also dependent on raising taxes and proper government oversight and management. What about doing something to improve existing retirement accounts?
Yeah, so a lot of people had ideas about that. It ran the gamut between allowing people to save more in their IRAs, for instance, let those sort of how much you can save match up with 401ks. It involves putting people into when you get a new job, making sure that you are auto enrolled into your job's 401k plan. Like, you have to do that. If your company doesn't offer a 401k plan or something similar, making sure that they are forced to go into a state-run retirement account system. Those were sort of the bigger ideas to kind of fix the saving side when it comes to people in retirement.
Well, Taylor, we can't run until we learn to walk. And rather than focusing on making existing programs better, developing good financial habits and advocating for literacy is key. Why do experts advocate for developing good financial habits as early as possible?
Right. So the whole point of retirement savings is you want compounding interest, right? You want to put your money in as soon as possible, start saving, let it go to work for you so that by the time you retire, you have enough money in your account to sustain the last third of your life, basically. And a lot of people don't start doing that until they're 35, 40, 45. And so they're later on in their career, they've missed out on 20 years of savings and they haven't built up these habits. And so people a lot of the experts I talked to wanted to, get parents to talk to their kids about savings, do little tricks so it just becomes embedded in kids' minds that saving is just sort of a part of life. So, if your kid puts away $5 a week, you match that $5, and you sort of get into that mindset of saving so that when it comes time to them actually working in their careers, it just sort of makes sense to them. They're like, oh, I'm making money, 10% of that should be put away somewhere. What's the best way to do it? It's sort of flipping that switch for kids as early as possible.
Finally, President Biden has made some ambitious retirement promises, as you and I discussed back on Election Day, which feels like a lifetime ago. Remind the audience what those promises are, and can his administration execute?
Right. So Biden ran on increasing Social Security benefits for lower income people. He ran on sort of changing the tax structure of 401ks so that lower income workers would get more of a benefit. Also doing a big tax credit for people who are taking care of other people and they have to leave the workforce. Another big point was that he wanted to lower the Medicare age to 60. So you could claim insurance when you turn 60, and that gives retirees a lot more options when it comes time to working. Like maybe they can extend their career with part-time work when they know they have that healthcare benefit. There has been no movement on any of this. I don't know if there will be any movement on any of this anytime soon. Biden is focusing on coronavirus and relief efforts and passing that $2 trillion bill. So it seems like that is the first big thing that the Biden administration wants to do. The good news for people is that, retirement legislation is a bipartisan thing. We had the Secure Act passed during Trump's administration. That was a Republicans and Democrats came together to pass that bill that actually did help the retirement system. So hopefully, as some of these bigger hot button issues get taken care of, something like passing a bill that would mandate auto enrollment into a retirement plan that would increase Social Security benefits would hopefully be on the table. Things that require big tax increases, like the Social Security benefit, probably have less of a chance to get passed. But things like making businesses facilitate you enrolling into a 401k type plan through your state probably has a good chance. So I think we just have to get to that point to see some legislative movement.
All right, Taylor, great stuff as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.